Hello, hello, dear American Dream Live member. Happy Thursday. Joining live. So excited. I actually been sharing about some other amazing interview that we had with one of the member of the community, Kasia Dorosh, and you can check on her platform our interview. We actually want to make it even more powerful, so there will be an encore soon. And what I want to share. So before I go to the topic, let's remind, if you just joined or didn't have an opportunity to experience, and for those who've been in a community for some time, I'm grateful for all of you. It's to how to grow your beliefs and become a united human being. Why it's so important to create that unity. When you experience that unity within, you get to you have opportunity to experience that outside in your interactions with the others, your loved ones, your friends, your family members. And that's what it's the most important thing. All of us are looking for that connection, all of us looking for love, and many times we are looking from that broken, disconnected place, and we so bummed why we cannot find it, or why it's not lasting, or why it's not the way we want it. Sounds familiar. So so that's the reason I've been sharing those messages for quite some time, to explore different topics actually of state of being instead of state of doing. It's a concept of that definitely helped transform my life as well, when I was starting focusing less on doing and more on being, and became kind of a game with those p words that keep flowing and being downloaded to me. And even today I wasn't sure why it was coming. I was even expressing some resistance to it, like, why this one? However, I learned not to question too much. It's definitely something that somebody gets to hear it, and creating that contrast with that word, of that concept of doing and being, and shifting the order from being to doing, is so important to experience greater results, more satisfactions, more fulfillment, more of the unity. So let's go for the topic about the prospect. If you're not into so much business, because I know we have people from the around the world in American Dream community, and not all of us are business owners, and some of have the jobs, careers, some possibly later or younger, and in their age. And the prospects, for those who doesn't know or need some refresher, is usually consider a person that we want to approach because of something. And it can actually be for anything, honestly. It seems like a popular word in the business world, that the prospect is say that we have some kind of agenda, or we have the reason to approach a person, to with the hope that this person becomes our client, and we can actually receive a benefits from that interaction. And that's that first step. However, like I had mentioned, that concept actually, it's true to any interactions with another human being, that we possibly not even aware that we actually doing that prospecting. We have some agendas, and we have those agendas, and not always the sincere agenda, something that possibly we don't want to do when we coming, for example, to our significant other spouses, to prospect around if they're willing to do it. And same with kids, that prospecting too is how to see whose will be stronger. Will we give in, or we will insist for kids to do whatever we want them to do? or they will win and they will sell us on their prospect of their agenda. So that's kind of the message. And honestly, also, like I've been sharing in the previous broadcasts many times, when the word appears, there are some live experiences in my own life, and I actually been stepping more like around. Those are more of the business related prospecting for creating connections, and seeing if there is a chance to create some business relation, or becoming a client. And that's definitely an interesting observation that I had noticed as well, with those interactions, that either I'm pretty convincing and coming with the confidence of the sharing, that the person will listen, or when somehow I don't feel so much confident around it, the other person actually seems to be winning, or know how to somehow response that it's not of the interests, and or some other ways, or not responding at all, and claiming on the busyness of their life, and they don't have any time, when they possibly spending hours on social media. They don't have the time for anything else. So just a side note for that, and I'm guilty as charged of it as well, and learning how actually utilizing some of that social media to create a connection, to coming, actually not just doing scrolling, and kind of sometimes mindless scrolling, that developing headaches, that somehow feeling some drain of energy, but actually more energizing prospecting for creating connection, and not just with the agenda of some customers, but also on really genuine creating connection and reconnections with people that are on my profile, for example, or in my communities groups, to create that connections, and see where that will lead us. It's the beginning of the year, to really showing that care about the others, what they up to in their life. There's a lot of going on, and sometimes we don't want to, we feel like we have so much on our plate, so why bother with the others. And many times some others kind of used to and not willing to share much. They feel like some either will complain, some they just say yes, everything going great. They don't want to admit that maybe they really going through some hard times, and they just want to feel that everything will work out eventually for them. And it's definitely a great attitude. However, sometimes it's good not to dwell in the dramas, but actually be more vulnerable and share, because it might inspire somebody else that willingness to share as well. For example, I kind of had noticed, I not the big proponent of sharing so much personal information, and especially if it's something I like to share more positive stories, and not so much some dramatic stories that, yes, I do get to experience in my life as well. And but sometimes sharing a bit, even if those stories not something that you want to share, can create some of the connection with each other, that give that permission to the other person to share more vulnerably with you as well. So I'm starting noticing that as well around that prospecting. So anyhow, so there's just examples about the experience and the reflections on that. And usually I'm sharing around few supporting words, how to shifting that doing to being, and prospect. It starts with having joy around it. Coming from that, you actually will attract people to yourself. When you're coming with joy, then start repelling them. Then the next one is happiness, fun, I should say. Uh, when others see that you have fun, they want to have fun too. Even though they, sometimes they don't want to admit, or they feel that they don't deserve, or they don't have time for it. But even in the busy days that they experience, they even on social media, they looking for something, and it's usually getting a lot of engagement when something fun is shared, when something, sometimes just some common knowledge that is kind of twisted, or some incident that seems to be funny. Maybe it wasn't so funny at the time of the incident. However, it became fun. So that one, and grace. Also having that grace with that, with prospecting those human interactions, coming, like I mentioned, joy and fun, and then grace. Grace that it's okay to, no matter what is happening, not taking things so much personally, when others might not be agreeing to that, you coming from that joy or fun. They might be not ready for it. They might be going under something serious, and they just a bit in this frame of mind that not allowing them to experience more of that. Maybe there is some limitation that they feel. If sometimes our mind will play some interesting tricks on us, that well, if I experience some joy, then I might experience more sadness after that. Well, it's true to a certain degree, but you get to actually understand that it goes one like with giving and receiving cycle. Same with sadness and joy. Uh, it goes with the cycle. So you it doesn't help that you will experience more sadness. So somehow you you will not miss on joy, because you actually will be start missing on the joy when you will insist of being sad instead of experience joy. And you get to be prepared that at some point there might be sad moments in your life, and that they will lead you to joy. And when you will not resist and go through those sad moments, guess what? You will arrive at the new joy moments again. And same with fun. When you experience more of that, and you want to experience more. And grace, having understanding, more of that understanding and grace, for especially ourselves, because that's usually those two. It's not allowing and not accepting that it has to be certain way. So having that grace, that it's okay, to have joyful moments, it's okay to have sad moments, it's okay to have fun, and having grace around it, and especially showering yourself with lots of it, can actually transform your experience and create more of that being prospect. Because guess what? To wrap the whole thing in the nice ball, you are prospecting with some expectation from others, like I had mentioned at the beginning, agenda. And when you not coming from that space of being prospect, guess what? It's hard to actually uh, create that connection with the person that you want to prospect with. because because if you think that you have to do it, guess what? They will show you that you don't. And they will bring some objections, and creates more frustration for you. And if you don't experience that grace or having fun with it, no matter what, it will be also harder on you. Why this person doesn't want to do what I want them to do? And it's true, like I had mentioned, in business, for your prospects, for doing business together, in your life with your loved ones, with kids, it's the same. When you're not becoming a person that you want others to be for you, they just reflecting to you, based on your feelings and based on your state of being. And many times when you're not recognizing that, it creates a lot of frustration. So I hope it's helpful. Feel free to share what resonates with this message and how it's landing. You can comment. This broadcast is being streamed live on the YouTube channel American Dream Live, as well as in Facebook group American Dream Live. Facebook group is a private community. There is a link on YouTube channel to it if you would like to click and join us for more interactive experience, as well as on YouTube channel. You can hit subscribe and then be notified when I'm coming live. And it seems like for a few weeks, I think it's the third week that I choose that 3:15 instead of 4:15, and it seems to be working well on that schedule. Potentially I will continue, and sometimes there is a need of adjusting, and it's been a while. Even with adjustment, usually the broadcast is much earlier, but still on Thursday. And keep sharing and plugging in with those having that game, having that fun with those words around, and keep bringing that inspiration to others. So thank you so much for checking live or in the broadcast, the replay of it. And feel free to, like, again, I share some comments around it. And sending you so much love, joy, and peace. Until next time, take care.